So here's my new piece to replace this piece. And this piece just has the groove cut in it, and it's broken here. And well, it breaks there because it's thin. So my new piece looks different. As you can see, it's got a rabbited spot out. It's thicker here. So, well, we'll take these home and I'll cut them to length because they're too long. And I'll put a coat of varnish on them and bring them back. We'll stick them on the boat sometime. Back at home in the garage, I wanted to go over how I made my hatch cover slide things. This is just a piece of wood I picked up off the side of the road. I do that occasionally when I see a nice piece of wood on the side of the road. This it's not clear, but it's good enough. I got 3 of these. They were all different sizes. One was this size. It was 3 3/4 inches wide. I just ripped it down the center, made 2. Then I put it through the table saw and I cut this. And that gave me my depth of, where's my other piece? There, that gave me my depth. Let me grab the other piece and show you. When I'm talking about depth, you can see the broken piece. It is this depth here. I just guessed. I don't know if they're the same or not. No, they're not. This is deeper than this. When I mean depth, I was aiming for this depth or height. I was a little short, but that's fine, I think, because it doesn't have this bottom piece. So after I cut that down here, I turned it on its side and ran it through the table saw just to clean it up. And you can see this is just a piece of wood I found off the road. This was an old bed frame or head or something. Probably IKEA. So by cutting those 2 things, I ended up with this piece of wood that kind of fits in there. This is the scrap that I got out of it. So that made me think, how easy is it to make one of these without a table saw? I'll show you. Imagine that this is a 1x2 and it doesn't have that cutout. And then this is a little piece of trim that you can get at the big box stores. I forget what it's called, but there's little bits of trim like this out there. What you can do is use a 1x2 and attach this little bit of trim to the side. That effectively mimics this cutout. I would glue it and then use that as my piece. So my next course of action is to measure this and just copy the ends. So I'll cut it off. I don't want that hole in the end, so I'll cut it a little further back around the edges. Same deal up here, around the edges, and give it a sand and then a coat of this stuff, spar varnish. Any spar marine varnish will work for this, and I'll do the whole thing, so I'll sand it all down so it's all done correctly. It's measured how deep this hole is here on the end, sticking a pencil in by my thumb there, so I got to start about there to avoid that hole. And I'm just marking on here roughly where that is without moving it. Go down to the other end, do the same thing. Got my pieces marked. Now I'm not sure whether these pieces that came off the boat were original or not. This boat, this Siren that I have, I saved from a storage yard. It was about to go for to be landfill, and I saved it, and it could have all the woodwork. Like, this is the best stuff that was on it, so this might be newer than the rest of the boat. Got my pieces cut to length. Just going to use a sander to round the edges a bit. I'm just using you can use any sander. You could even use a file if you wanted. I've got a belt sander. Okay, that's got that. Got matching sticks now. Just gonna get my pencil lines off. Gonna give this a quick sand with 100 grit, and then I'm gonna put some finish on it. That spar varnish. I want to sand the inside here, just quick. Let's get the fuzzy stuff off. That fuzzy stuff is what ruins your finish. It never fully gets covered with the finish. There we go. I've taken the gloss off of these with sandpaper, and I just have to give them a little cleanup with get the dust off them. This is my spar varnish. It's been sitting for a year. It's probably that much left in the bottom of the can. I think there's a big skin of something in there. Gonna give this a good shake and stir. Just putting some nails in. Now these are what my piece is going to sit on. It'll sit on these nails as it dries, and I don't have a big flat weird spot in the finish. Got my small brush. I've wiped all this stuff off. Now my finish is kind of lumpy, so I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to brush this on and wipe it off with a rag. Yeah, because this is, see the lumps? There's nothing I can do other than strain this. I don't have time for that. So let's do the wax on, wax off technique. So I'll give these a wipe down with some shop towels. I don't know how this is going to work out, whether it'll get all fuzzy or not, but we'll see. Oh, that's looking okay. Doesn't look bad at all. So here's what they look like. Just wiped off my coat of spar varnish, and well, I'll leave them like that till they dry. I might go out and get another small can of spar varnish. Can't hurt. We're going to put another coat of finish on these pieces I've made. They're almost dry. They're a little tacky, but they're dry enough for what I'm going to do. I found I've got a can of Varathane Clear, so I'm going to give them a shot of this, and we'll see what happens. And here they go. This one just flipped over and got some stuff on it. I picked a really nice dirty board to do this on. Well, we'll see what that does. I should read the can probably, but I'll give that another coat whenever it says to give it another coat. Okay, let's go in and make a drawing of how I've built this. I'll put it up on the Siren site. Here it is. It's drawn it all out. This is our piece. It looks like that. And it's 23 long. It's 7/8-ish thick. Use whatever you got. The rabbit is the little tongue piece is 5/16 thick, and then the depth of the rabbit is 5/8 here, and 3/4 here. So this is the profile of my companionway hatch slide. I'm going to install this. I'll be attaching it to the boat with clamps, drilling a couple of pilot holes in through the existing holes in the hull, and then putting my screws through. I'm also going to use butyl to seal in between where the screw holes are. So that's simply putting the screw through the hole, wrapping butyl around it, and screwing this down. Pretty simple, waterproof forever, that stuff. I'm going to change my hatch cover slides now. Got the other ones in there. So it's a matter of unscrewing them and screwing the new ones back on with some waterproofing behind them, which is beautiful. I'll reuse what's on the back of these ones now. So you can see some tape there and there. Done that so I can match the spot where the hatch boards were. I'm also going to put the hatch boards on to confirm that that's actually the spot, because I just screwed these on. I didn't measure anything when I made them. I've got 4 screws here. I'm just going to zip them out. Look, beautiful. So I'm not going to have to put much here. That butyl is going to look after any leaks. I put this on just to see where things are going to be. It looks like I can use my same marks for the holes and everything. Same as on this side. I'll try fitting this bottom one. That goes in pretty easily. It's got a little play. That's okay. Yeah, that's good. Look, my overlap here is maybe 1/2 inch. I've got 1/4 on here, so maybe I'll move this in a little bit just to give it a little more coverage. It's always been this side that breaks. I'm going to have to check my holes to see if I do have enough room to do that though. Okay, I'm going to put a screw in at the top here. Put the rest of the screws in. Done. I'll give that a little tighten up, but yeah, there we go. There's our new hatch slide. Let's do the other side now. Okay, I'm going to screw this other one in. I've set it in place. Got all the butte already. Start at the top again. That's what they look like. That's the other one. And here's their old ones. This is, well, it's scrap now. Let's put the doors on and see what they look like. That is so much easier to throw the doors on. That's much nicer to use. It's quicker, easier. I don't have to fit things into that little slot of these old ones. I have to kind of play around and get things right in that slot. Works well. Look at that. It's a nice fit. No, they fit the way they normally would. Oh, that's good. Another project done.